Hello again, it's Amy with Just a Little Ink, here to share with you a fun card with a simple layout. I had recently participated in a mystery stamping time with my team, and this was the card I had made then. Mystery stamping is so much fun because you're told the supplies you need, but you aren't told anything more about the layout. And then you make it with instructions, and every card turns out just a little different. And so I wanted to make some more cards with that same layout, and this was one I made exactly like the card I had done in my mystery stamping. And we're going to make one that has a little different, all the same pieces, but a little different twist. And I'm going to even change it up a little bit by changing out this piece of designer series paper. So what you need to get started on this layout, you need a half sheet of cardstock. I'm using Real Red, and I cut mine at 8.5 by 5.5, and I scored it in the middle at 4 1/4. You need a piece of coordinating cardstock. Here I am using a piece of Pear Pizzazz, and you don't need to write down all of these measurements. I'll have all of them on my blog at justalittle.ink.com. This one is cut at 3 3/4 inches by 5 inches, and I have embossed it using the Winter Snow embossing folder that goes through our Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. You also will need a couple pieces of designer series paper, and for this I'm using the Heartwarming Hugs designer series paper. All our paper is two-sided with rare exception. One piece is cut at 2 3/4 by 4 inches, and the other piece 1 by 5. And then you'll need a piece for the inside, 5 1/4 by 5 1/4 by 4 inches, and a shape. Here I am using the stitched nested labels dies in order to put my image on, and a piece of ribbon or trim. Here I'm using all of the trimmings ribbon combo pack. It comes with some Old Olive, which is a darker version of Pear Pizzazz, and Real Red with a little gold stitched edge. We'll set that aside. And the stamp set that I'm going to use, one of my favorites out of our mini catalog, is the For Unto Us. Has a number of images that can be used on the front or on the inside. And so let's begin. And I'm going to point out that if you're going to place an order and it's under $150, you can use the host code, and I will put your name into a drawing. If you're going to order 150 or more, you already receive host benefits, and so don't use the code, because then you don't get those host benefits, and you want those. That's worth that. And so I appreciate anyone who orders any of these wonderful supplies. And again, all of the supplies will be listed on my blog. So I'm going to fold it along the fold line. Then I'm going to take my piece that is embossed, and on this one, remember where I'm going to go in this direction. So I'm going to put my 1 inch by 5 inch piece, and I'm using my Stampin' Seal, some of our new adhesive. Just roll it across, and I'm going to put it right in the center, or as close to center as I can eyeball it. And come down a little bit maybe. Honestly, it doesn't matter, because each card will look different depending on what you decide to do. Okay, and then I'm going to take this piece, and I'm just going to put down, not going to pop it up at all. Okay. I'm going to set this piece right in the center. And then I'm going to take my trim, and I'm going to wrap my trim around and tie it in a knot. You could tie it in a bow, and I'm wanting my knot to be off on the right side, so I'm going to pull more of it over here. Okay, we need to make some minor adjustments once it's tied, but okay. Wrap it around. This is a great use for all of that designer series paper that you hopefully picked up on our sale this last month. But if you're like me, you've got a lot of scraps laying around, so you could use it to make up a lot of cards. Okay, so I've got it tied on that end, and then I can put it on the front of my card. Put more adhesive. Center it on the front of my card so I have an even amount of space on all sides. It's a nice flat card with not a lot of dimension, so it should mail really easy. And this could be a great card for you. And then we want to stamp. So I'll set this aside. We want to stamp on our stitched piece. So, and I'm using the Christmas Begins with Christ. One of the best images in here. So I'm going to come in with my Real Red. And I'm going to tell you, Real Red on Whisper White tends to want to smear, so you've got to let it set for just a minute. So I'm going to push this aside. And then on the inside, I've chosen another one of the images from in the For Unto Us stamp set. And so put this for my inside greeting. And again, I'm going to set them aside so they can have a few minutes to dry. They just have a tendency to smear if you don't. And so hope we've gotten enough of it off. And then I'm going to just put a couple of our Stampin' Dimensionals on the back to lift it up just a little bit. You could put more, but I find 2 is plenty. Pull off those ends. And I'm going to put my greeting on the front. Should be centered. Trim my ends of my ribbon. And then I can put some adhesive on my inside greeting. And just like that, you have made a card. And it would be easy to make a whole bunch of these to send out with your Christmas card. So thanks again for joining me. I hope you will click on the subscribe button at the end of this video so that you can see future videos. I'll see you again this next Tuesday. Bye.